Hello parents. I am doing this video just to help you to interpret your students' placement report. Now I sent the report to you, but I know that it will be a challenge for you to understand all that it is saying to you. So I am doing this just to help you to understand it a little better. Now as you look at it, you will see that your child's name would be in this area. And you'll have the child's ERN, the school code. Each school has a code, so you'll see the name of the school and the code that goes with it, as well as the child's gender. Now, when you look on this side, you will see the parish, you'll see the placement score, the school where the child is placed, and the child's pathway. The placement score is the score that they use to decide where to place a child. And they get to this score after they would have looked at all of the exams that the child did. They would have assigned some score to each of those exams. And then based on that, they come up with a final placement score. A score of about 110 or above would normally give the child his or her first place or first choice. This child here would have gotten just below the 110 and got his second choice. Now, the pathway, each child is placed on a pathway going into secondary school. The, this child is placed on pathway 1. Now, pathway 1 is for children who are doing well in school. So they would have done their exams, passed what they are supposed to pass, and the ministry believes that they are able to handle all the work that is in high school. Some children are placed on pathway 2. When they are placed on pathway 2, it means that the ministry believes that they will have some challenge managing all of the work in high school. So they reduce the amount of work that they will do. So when they go into high school, they will not do all the subjects that the child on pathway 1 will do. They will do fewer subjects and more time will be spent helping them to learn to read and do maths better. Students who are placed on pathway 3 are those who the ministry believes have some learning challenge. So they will not learn like the regular child. They will need additional support. So when they go into high school, they will be placed in smaller groups and they will get special help to learn to read and write because these usually are children who are not able to read and write enough to manage high school work. So they would do just a few subjects, mainly maths and reading and language arts, as well as PE. And then they would get extra help. So those are the three pathways. Pathway 1 for the normal learning child. Pathway 2 for the child who they believe needs just a little more help. And pathway 3 for a child who they believe will need a whole lot of additional support. So we come down to the exams that they actually did. And one of the exams that they used to place them this year was the grade 4 numeracy and literacy test. Now this was done in 2019. When the children do this test, they are given either mastery, near or almost mastery, and non-mastery. So if they passed the test, they would have gotten mastery like this child. If they did not pass, but they passed some sections of it, they would have been given almost mastery. And if they did not do well on it at all, they would have been given non-mastery. So this child mastered both numeracy and literacy. In that same year, on the same exam, they did a part that they call the grade 4 performance task. This child got 308 as his score in mathematics in 2019. That is, at that time they were in grade 4, as it says, grade 4 performance task. Now, scores over 300 are usually considered good and would give the child a proficiency level of proficient. So this child is considered proficient in maths. He got 308 points for mathematics. So he was deemed proficient. Some children are deemed highly proficient. And when they are considered highly proficient, instead of seeing a light blue here, you would see a dark blue, meaning that they are highly proficient. And usually it scores like 320, 330, that would give them highly proficient. Below highly proficient, they would get a yellow color like you see over here, which means that they are developing. So they are not really where they should be in the subject, but they are not too far behind. So he would have gotten 281 for language. So he was not quite ready in language. He was at the developing level. So they gave him 281, and you see the yellow color here. Some people would have gotten less than that and would have been deemed beginning. And then you would see a red color down here. So they have four colors that they use. Red for beginning, which means that the child is just learning the subject. Yellow for developing, which means that they have started but they are not quite where they should be. Light blue when they are proficient, which means that they know enough of it that they can manage on their own. And dark blue when they are considered highly proficient, which means that they are very good at the subject and can work independently. Now, after putting the score from the literacy and numeracy tests, as well as the performance task, they gave this child a placement score of 34.1. So out of that 108.6, out of this 108.6, 34.1 came from grade 4. So when you look at your child's report, you would see that number down here telling you how much of the placement score that you see at the top would have come from grade 4. Then the next exam that they used to place them in high school this year was the grade 6 ability test. They did not get to do the other two parts, that is the performance task or the curriculum based test. So they only did the ability test. Now, with the ability test, it does not give them a score. This number that you see here is not telling you how much they got right or wrong. It is telling you the percentile rank. Now, the percentile rank means what percentage of the people who did the exam finished behind this student. So being at the 84th percentile means that 84% of the students who did the exam got less than what this child got. So if 100 people did it, it means that he would have finished better than 84 of them. In the same way, if 1,000 people did it, it means that he would have gotten better than 840 of them. So whatever you see here, that is telling you what percentage of all the students in Jamaica who did the exam finished behind your child. Out of every 100, how many of them finished behind your child? That is what this is saying. So it's not telling you how much the person got right or wrong. After doing this test, they gave them some placement contribution as well. And this 84th percentile gave this student 74.5 towards his placement score. So now you see this 74.5 that he got in grade 6 plus this 34.1 that he got in grade 4 adds up. If you add it, you'll get what? 108.6. 108.6. So that is how they got the score. And that is what they used to place the children in high school this year. So the higher this score is, the better their chance of getting their first choice. And I'm saying again that those who would have gotten into Mannings would have gotten scores over 110. I see scores like 112 and so on. going into Mannings, whereas this child would have gotten just about 109. So it was just a little bit off the mark, right? So I hope that this would have helped you to understand your child's report a little bit